12 days ago, 11 of our neighbors lost their lives, and 6 others were wounded in an act of unconscionable hate. And it took just moments for the first helpers to arrive on the scene, and in the hours and days and for nearly 2 weeks since, we've witnessed the helpers in our community show up in force. And they've come together to grieve with one another, to pray for those who were wounded, for those who were lost, and for the families that survived them. They've come together to offer comfort and support, to express their love for one another and for our community. They've come together to give us hope and to lead us on a path to healing and towards a brighter and better future for all. Good evening, everybody. I am Bill Demchak, and I am the chair of the Allegheny Conference. Tonight, as we begin our annual meeting, our hearts are still heavy, and our thoughts are with the residents of Thousand Oaks, California, whose pain today we know all too well. I am joined on the stage tonight by a number of our region's first responders and community leaders. And here as well are the leaders from the region's interfaith community. Rabbi Aaron Bisno of Road of Shalom Congregation, Wozi Muhammad, the Executive Director of the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh, the respected Jagdish Joshi and Hiri Lal Patel of Hindu Jain Temple, Reverend Justin Eidinger of the Neighborhood Academy, and Reverend David Pecking of the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, and finally the Reverend Dr. Randy Bush, the Senior Pastor of East Liberty Presbyterian Church. At the front of the room, we have members of the board of the Allegheny Conference, and members of the board, if you would, please stand and remain standing for the next few moments. In addition to Mayor Peduto and County Executive Fitzgerald, who are here on the stage with us, we're also joined this evening by a number of other elected officials from the 10-county region, as well as leaders from organized labor. Please, if you are among these officials, please stand as well. You know, these are the folks that we often think of as leaders in our community. But the truth is, if you are here tonight, whether you're up here at the front of the room or if you're back at the top of the house, if you have given up your evening to join us and engage in this discussion of issues that matter to our neighbors across the region, then you are a leader also. And so I would like to ask everyone here tonight, if you're physically able, to please stand with us and remain standing as we invite Rabbi Bisno to lead us in a brief prayer.
We share the 23rd Psalm. Adonai ro'i lo echsar, bino desha yarbitzeni. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Thank you. Now, as you entered the building, you should have received a light blue scarf as our gift to you. Now, these scarves are meant to symbolize unity against hate. We hope you will wear them proudly. We're gathered here this evening at a moment unlike any other we've ever faced as a community. Now, we're going to get to the business of the conference in a few minutes because the work in which we're engaged is important and it must continue. But after something as traumatic as what occurred at the Tree of Life, it is important that we take a few minutes together to take stock of who we are and what we stand for. Now, it's probably not news to any of you that Pittsburgh is not the most diverse region in the country, yet we are known for being one of the friendliest. Ours is and always will be a community that is welcoming and inclusive. We are a community that prizes compassion and kindness. In the wake of the shooting at the Tree of Life, the world has seen members of our community from all faiths and cultures come together without regard to politics or ideology to support and lift up those who are hurting. That is Pittsburgh. And just as steel is strengthened by fire, this community has grown stronger and more united as we face this terrible trial. But there's more for us to do, and the sad reality is that the pain we have been suffering as a community since the attack on the Tree of Life is not new or unfamiliar to those of our neighbors for whom bigotry and even violence are all too much a part of everyday life. This is a moment for us to choose a new path for our future and for the future of our children. This is a moment for us together to say that we will never accept inhumanity or hate, that we will speak out against it in all of its forms, and to commit ourselves to action whenever the opportunity presents itself to stand up to intolerance, persecution, and oppression. This is a moment for us to ensure that the prosperity we pursue across our region is truly for all by demonstrating that we will stand up for the dignity of, respect for, and kindness towards all. You know, my wife, who is Jewish, has often reminded me of something that's taken on new meaning in recent days. I never particularly understood it, and that's the role of bystanders in the Holocaust. People who witnessed the persecution of millions of Jews but said nothing and did nothing to stop it, and leaders in the international community who were aware of the atrocities but did nothing to intervene. Bystanders took no action and did their best to deny responsibility, even as millions of Jews were murdered. And in the decades since, we've come to recognize that they were complicit by their willful inaction. We cannot be just bystanders in our community. And fortunately, Pittsburgh has never been a community of mere bystanders. You know, 75 years ago when R.K. Mellon proposed the idea for what would become the Allegheny Conference, it wasn't just for the good of his business or for any other business for that matter. In fact, he was emphatic that we come together not as heads of companies, but as private citizens, concerned for our collective future and the common good. We are all here tonight because we have chosen paths for ourselves that have brought us to positions of leadership in our respective organizations and in this community. And we have a moral obligation to use our voices and our resources to promote what we value: compassion, hope, inclusivity, and tolerance, and to defend our neighbors, our region, and our way of life against the corrosive power of bigotry, fear, hatred, and violence. The shocking attack on peaceful worshipers at the Tree of Life is not how our region will be defined. Rather, the strength with which we respond together, the resolve with which we speak together, and the will with which we stand together for those things we value and for prosperity for all is how we as leaders in the community will be measured. Please join me in thanking our brave first responders who are here tonight, as well as the leaders from across the faith community who have stood with us this evening in a show of unity. And thank you for standing with us.